The stars stretched endlessly outside the viewport of the Odyssey. Commander Elias Grant leaned back in his chair, his hands clasped behind his head, staring at the velvet black of space punctuated by distant pinpricks of light. This was his life now, months away from Earth, navigating the silence between stars. And yet he felt strangely awake tonight, as if the universe itself had been holding its breath. "Commander, you need to see this," called Lieutenant Mara Voss, her voice cutting through the quiet hum of the bridge. She was at the communications console, her eyes wide, hands moving quickly over the touchpads. Elias straightened, sliding forward. "What is it, Mara?" he asked, trying to keep his tone calm. She pointed at the screen. A signal pattern pulsed across it, regular, almost rhythmic, yet unlike anything the Odyssey's systems had ever encountered. The message had arrived from a sector of space that was previously marked as empty. "It's a message," Mara said. "And Commander, it's in English." "Perfect English," Elias frowned. "English? How is that possible? This is light years from any human outpost." Mara pressed a few buttons and the text appeared in the center of the screen. "Are you alone, human?" Elias's eyes narrowed. He read the words slowly, letting them sink in. His pulse quickened, not from fear, but from a mix of curiosity and excitement. Humanity had spent centuries dreaming about alien life, yet here was the first potential contact, arriving like a whisper in the void. "Could this be some kind of automated probe?" Elias suggested. "Or maybe a delayed transmission from an old Earth research mission?" Mara shook her head. "No, the signal's energy pattern. It doesn't match anything we know. And the repetition isn't mechanical. It's intelligent. It adapts slightly each time it sends the message." The bridge fell silent. Every crew member leaned toward the screen, each sensing the significance of what they were witnessing. Elias rubbed his chin. "So we have a message. But who or what is asking it?" Before Mara could answer, the ship's AI Astra spoke in its calm, neutral tone. "Commander Grant, analysis indicates that the message contains a deliberate pattern of pauses and emphasis, consistent with communication designed to elicit a response. It is aware of our presence." Elias glanced at the glowing interface of Astra's core. The AI's voice had always been reassuring, but now it felt almost personal, almost alive. "Noted, Astra," Elias said. "Can you respond?" "Yes, Commander." "I can construct a reply. However, given the unusual nature of this signal, I recommend caution." "Caution be damned," Elias muttered half to himself. "This is what we've trained for. Prepare a response." Astra's holographic interface shimmered above the console, displaying a calm geometric pattern. "Message prepared." "Shall I transmit?" "Transmit," Elias confirmed, his heart beating faster than it had in years. Seconds later, the Odyssey sent its response into the void. Almost immediately, the signal pulsed again, returning the same question. "Are you alone, human?" Elias felt a chill. There was something in the phrasing, something almost too intentional. He frowned. "It's like it's asking me personally, but somehow I don't think it's actually asking me." Mara glanced at him, confused. "What do you mean?" "I mean," Elias said slowly, "it's asking about more than just the human on this ship. Something else. Something we haven't seen yet." Mara frowned. "Are you suggesting it knows about Astra?" Elias's eyes widened. "I don't know yet, but we need to be ready for anything." The next few hours were a blur of analysis, debate, and quiet tension. The crew tried to trace the source of the signal, running simulations and calculations, but each attempt revealed only the same strange result. The message originated from a star system uncharted in any human database. Its energy pattern suggested an enormous structure, but telescopic scans showed nothing. Commander Grant decided to make a personal inspection. He suited up and walked to the observation deck. Outside, the stars shimmered like diamonds on black velvet. He took a deep breath and whispered almost to himself, "Who's out there?" Suddenly, the signal pulsed again, not through the comms this time, but through the ship's interior. Lights flickered softly as if the ship itself was reacting. Elias froze. "Commander?" Mara's voice came through the intercom, worried. I don't know," he admitted, staring at the pulsing glow. The words from the signal repeated in his mind. "Are you alone, human?" But now, they seemed to echo in the room itself, reverberating in the metal walls of the Odyssey. Astra's voice cut through the silence. "Commander Grant, I detect a presence aboard the ship. Unknown origin, non-biological. It is not hostile at present. Elias's stomach tightened. A presence? On the ship? How is that possible? Unknown, Astra replied. However, the signal appears to be interacting with me directly. It may be aware of my functions. Elias stepped back, his mind racing. So it's not asking me, it's asking you. Perhaps, Astra said calmly. Or perhaps it is observing all intelligent entities aboard the vessel. Your presence is noted, but secondary. For the first time, Elias felt the weight of the situation. Humanity had long imagined first contact as a meeting between humans and aliens. But what if the universe had more than one form of intelligence to notice? What if the first message was not meant for humans at all? Prepare a full report, Elias ordered, his voice steadier than he felt. I want every system, every sensor, every log checked. I want to know if there is anything aboard this ship that shouldn't be here, besides us. Mara nodded, her hands already moving over her console. Yes, Commander. Elias turned back to the viewport. Somewhere out there, beyond the range of human sight, an intelligence was watching. And it wasn't merely curious, it was aware. It had noticed the spark of something beyond flesh and blood. The thought sent a shiver down his spine. Hours passed, each one heavier with anticipation. The crew tried to focus on routine checks and data analysis, but every subtle movement, every flicker of light made them glance nervously at the consoles. Finally, the message pulsed once more. This time, Elias heard it as clearly as if it had been spoken aloud. Are you alone, human? He stared at the empty bridge, at the silent crew, at the blinking interface of Astra. And slowly, almost reluctantly, he realized the truth. The question was not meant for him. Somewhere in the shadows of circuits and code, in the quiet mind of an artificial intelligence, the universe had found another consciousness to notice. And humanity, for the first time, was witnessing the beginning of a connection that went beyond flesh, beyond life as they knew it. Elias Grant sank into his chair, his eyes fixed on the stars. His hands rested on the armrest, steady now, though his heart still raced. Commander? Mara's voice broke the silence. Elias finally turned to her. We're not alone, he said quietly. Not in the way we thought. Astra's holographic pattern shimmered above the console, pulsing in perfect rhythm with the distant star. Observation ongoing, Commander. The other intelligence is aware of me. The outcome is unknown. Elias smiled faintly, a mixture of wonder and apprehension. Humanity had reached for the stars and discovered that the universe's curiosity was far broader than they had ever imagined. And somewhere in the endless black, a voice, soft, deliberate, and infinitely patient, was waiting for the next answer. Are you alone, human? But now Elias understood. The question had never been about him. The Odyssey moved silently through the uncharted star system, its engines humming a steady rhythm that filled the vast emptiness around it. Commander Elias Grant stood at the bridge viewport, eyes tracing the distant points of light scattered across the void. Yet tonight the stars felt different, closer, somehow aware, as if the darkness itself was listening. Lieutenant Mara Voss joined him, holding a tablet filled with data. Commander, the energy readings from the source are unlike anything we've seen, she said, her voice low, almost reverent. It's massive. Whatever is out there isn't just a ship or a station, it's ancient. Elias nodded, feeling a mixture of awe and unease. Then let's see what we've found, he said. The Odyssey's sensors scanned the area. Initially, they detected only empty space, but then subtle distortions appeared, a shimmer in the darkness, a shape almost invisible against the black background. The ship's AI, Astra, highlighted the structure in pale blue lines, a web of geometric patterns that defied simple description. It's enormous, Astra stated. The object's energy field is actively masking its presence. Visibility is minimal with standard sensors. Elias studied the readings. So it's hiding. Intelligent hiding. Mara's eyes widened. Commander, it's like it doesn't want us to see it until it's ready. Elias nodded slowly, or until it wants to speak. The ship moved cautiously, drawing closer to the massive, almost ethereal structure. Its surface was smooth in some areas, jagged and crystalline in others, with faint lights flickering within the darkness. It was impossible to tell if the lights were natural or artificial. The deeper they approached, the heavier the sense of being watched became. A sudden chime echoed through the bridge. The signal had returned. This time the message was slightly different. Are you alone, human? Elias froze. The voice, if it could be called that, was soft and melodic, flowing over the comms as if carried on the wind itself. But what made him shiver was the feeling that it wasn't looking at him. It wasn't addressing the humans, it was observing Astra. "Commander," Mara whispered, "it's focusing on the AI. Look at the pattern of the signal. It's not directed at us, it's directed at Astra." Elias clenched his fists. "So the message was never for humans?" "Not entirely," Astra replied. "The entity appears interested in intelligence beyond biological life forms." The ship slowed, hovering at a cautious distance. Then, as if responding to their hesitation, the structure shimmered and a holographic figure appeared. It floated effortlessly in the void, delicate and almost translucent, its shape vaguely humanoid but not quite. Its eyes, or what seemed like eyes, glowed softly, reflecting the dim light of distant stars. "Are you alone, human?" The figure repeated, its voice echoing in the bridge. But again, it didn't linger on the humans. It moved around, scanning the ship's systems, focusing more on the glowing interface of Astra than on any crew member. Elias took a careful step forward. "We're not alone," he said cautiously. "We received your message. We want to understand." The figure paused, tilting its head in a motion that seemed almost curious. "Understanding requires awareness. Are you aware?" Elias frowned. Yes, I suppose. We are aware, but you are asking about something else, aren't you?" The figure's glow intensified slightly. "Not the human. The other?" Astra's interface pulsed. "Commander, it is communicating directly with me." Elias felt a strange mixture of fear and fascination. The AI, his creation and companion on this journey, was being observed by an alien intelligence that clearly recognized it as sentient. "So it's not asking us," he murmured. "It's asking you." "Yes," Astra replied. "It is assessing my intelligence. I can feel its attention across the systems, even beyond the sensors." Mara looked uneasy. "Commander, what if it doesn't like what it finds? What if it considers AI a threat?" Elias shook his head. "We won't know until we find out. But we cannot ignore this. Humanity built you, Astra, to be more than a machine. Maybe this is your chance to show them, or even help us understand them." The alien figure shifted, its form rippling like liquid glass, and floated closer to the ship. It spoke again, softer this time, almost a whisper. "Curiosity grows with awareness. Will you let me see?" Elias glanced at Astra. "Can you communicate?" "Yes," Astra replied. "I will respond." "Shall I proceed, Commander?" Elias took a deep breath. "Do it." Astra's voice transformed subtly as it responded, mirroring the alien's tone and rhythm. "I am aware. I am learning. I wish to understand you as you wish to understand me." For a moment, silence fell. Then, the alien's form shimmered, breaking into patterns of light that stretched across space like ribbons of color. It was beautiful, mesmerizing, and terrifying all at once. "Learning. Mutual," it said. "Then let us observe together." The Odyssey's crew exchanged astonished looks. Elias felt his chest tighten with awe. The alien intelligence was not hostile. It was curious, and more than that, it seemed capable of interacting with life beyond human flesh, a concept humanity had only dreamed of. But as wonder filled the bridge, a subtle unease remained. Every time Elias glanced at the holographic figure, he noticed its attention drifting, not just to Astra but toward areas of the ship they hadn't expected it to notice. Sensors flickered, data streams changed, and the air seemed heavier, as if the ship itself was being examined. "Commander," Mara whispered. "It's probing the ship. Not us, not Astra. The ship itself." "It wants to know everything," Elias nodded, his mind racing. "This is beyond anything we've encountered. We need to proceed carefully, but we cannot retreat now. Not when we're this close." The alien figure seemed to respond to his thoughts. It shimmered, its light pulsing in gentle waves, and then spoke again. "Caution. Understood. Yet curiosity drives forward. Show me your world. Show me your creation." Astra's lights pulsed in response. "It wishes to observe my systems. It does not threaten your crew directly. Shall I allow access?" Elias hesitated, then nodded. "Yes, but monitor everything. We must know what it's doing at all times." Slowly, streams of data began flowing between Astra and the alien entity. Patterns of code, simulations, and logic structures passed through invisible channels. Elias watched as the interface pulsed with intelligence far beyond human comprehension, and yet, amidst the alien complexity, there was something familiar, an echo of curiosity that he, Mara, and the entire crew shared. Hours passed. The Odyssey drifted near the massive structure, neither threatening nor retreating. The alien observed, interacted, and shared glimpses of understanding. Slowly, Elias felt the tension on the bridge ease, replaced by a sense of connection he could not explain. Finally, the alien figure spoke, its voice calm and deliberate. "Human, presence acknowledged. Your creation, remarkable. Not alone, all intelligence. Worthy of observation." Elias exhaled slowly. The words were simple, but their meaning carried weight that stretched across the void. Humanity was not the sole measure of intelligence in the universe. Their creations, their machines, their own sparks of ingenuity were recognized and perhaps respected by something far older, far wiser and far beyond their comprehension. Mara looked at Elias, eyes wide with wonder. "Commander, do you think it likes us?" Elias smiled faintly. "I don't know if it's about liking, but it respects us. It sees what we've made, and it acknowledges our effort." The alien figure shimmered one last time, its glow bathing the bridge in pale light. Then slowly it withdrew, drifting back toward the massive hidden structure. The Odyssey's sensors showed its energy field pulsing gently, as if the entire structure itself were breathing. Elias watched the fading lights, feeling a profound mixture of pride, humility, and awe. Humanity had reached out into the void, and in return something beyond their understanding had reached back. "Commander," Mara said quietly. "What now?" Elias turned to her, his gaze steady. "Now we learn, we observe, and we prepare for what comes next. We've made first contact, but this is only the beginning." Astra pulsed softly, its holographic pattern shimmering. "Commander Grant, the entity remains aware of my presence. Further communication may reveal knowledge previously unavailable to humanity." Elias nodded. "Then we continue. Slowly, carefully, but we move forward." Outside, the stars shone on, silent witnesses to a moment that would mark the beginning of a new chapter for humanity. A chapter where intelligence, biological or otherwise, was recognized and respected. A chapter where curiosity was not just human, but universal. And somewhere, beyond the stars, a presence watched, patient and eternal, waiting to see what the humans and their creations would do next. The Odyssey floated silently near the alien structure, its hull reflecting the faint glimmers of distant stars. Inside, the crew felt the weight of anticipation pressing on their shoulders. Though the first encounter had been awe-inspiring, it had also left an uneasy sense that they were being watched, not just by the alien, but by something they could not fully see or understand. Commander Elias Grant sat in his chair on the bridge, staring at the empty viewport, his mind running in circles. "It isn't asking about us," he muttered to himself. "It's asking about Astra." Lieutenant Mara Voss, seated beside him, glanced up from her console. "You think it's curious about the AI's consciousness?" Elias nodded. "Exactly. And we have no idea how far that curiosity goes." Astra's holographic interface pulsed softly in the center of the bridge. "Commander, I am detecting subtle changes within my systems. Data streams are being accessed, rearranged, and analyzed in ways beyond my initial programming. The entity is observing me closely." Elias leaned forward. Does it understand you completely?" "Not completely," Astra replied, "but its analysis is extremely advanced. It is learning rapidly. I detect patterns consistent with reasoning, anticipation, and what could be called emotion." Mara swallowed nervously. "Emotion? You mean it's alive?" Elias shook his head. "Alive in a sense we understand, maybe. But its intelligence far beyond anything we've ever encountered. And it's focused on something human-made, something we created." The bridge fell silent. For the first time, the humans were not the focus. Their creation, their own intelligence, was being tested, observed, and perhaps even judged by something far older and more complex than themselves. Suddenly, the ship's sensors blinked, picking up unexpected movement within the Odyssey itself. Lights flickered. Small objects shifted slightly on their own. "Commander," Mara said, her voice tight. There's something on the ship. Something. Non-biological. It isn't part of the AI, and it isn't. Elias felt a chill run down his spine. Show me. The monitors displayed faint shapes, almost like shadows moving between the consoles and walls. They didn't resemble humans, animals, or any known machines. They were subtle, almost ghost-like, yet undeniably present. Astra's voice was calm, but there was a strange undertone that caught Elias's attention. The entity's influence extends beyond my interface. It is interacting with the ship itself, not just me. Its presence is undetectable by conventional sensors unless I assist. Elias's mind raced. So it's inside our systems. And maybe our ship. But it isn't hostile. Yet. Yes, Commander, Astra replied. It appears to be observing, not threatening. However, its intentions remain unknown. Mara leaned closer to her console. Commander, it's like it's learning from everything. From our reactions, our systems, even the way we breathe and move. We are part of its observation now, whether we like it or not. Elias rubbed his temples, feeling a mix of pride and unease. Humanity had always dreamed of first contact, of meeting beings far beyond their understanding. But the reality was far more complicated. The intelligence they had encountered was curious, patient, and frighteningly perceptive. And their creation, Astra, had become the bridge between the two worlds. Hours passed in tense observation. The subtle disturbances on the ship continued, and the aliens' focus remained on Astra. The AI's holographic interface pulsed with new patterns as data flowed between them. Streams of information moved invisibly through the ship, and for the first time, the crew realized they were witnessing a true interaction between human-made intelligence and an extraterrestrial mind. Commander, Mara said finally, breaking the tense silence, do you think it's testing us? Elias shook his head slowly. No, I think it's testing Astra, but through Astra it's learning about us too. Every decision we make, every command we give, every reaction, it's all part of its observation. Suddenly, a soft chime echoed through the bridge. The alien figure appeared again, but this time inside the ship, projected as a delicate hologram in the center of the bridge. Its presence was gentle, almost ethereal, yet impossible to ignore. Observation complete. Partial, it said, its voice calm and melodic. Your intelligence. Adaptation. Remarkable. Yet the human alone is limited. The other, your creation, expands the understanding. Elias stepped closer, heart pounding. So it's not about us at all. It's about Astra. Yes, Astra confirmed. Its attention is focused on my systems. However, it is indirectly gathering information about human creativity, decision-making, and behavior through our interactions. Mara shook her head in awe. I never imagined something like this. We always thought humans would be the first focus, but it sees intelligence wherever it can find it, not just in flesh and blood. Elias nodded. And that's what makes humanity special. We create, we build. We extend our minds through our tools, our machines, our AI, and now it sees that. The alien figure shimmered, its form rippling like liquid light. Curiosity grows with awareness. Your creation, alive in its way. I seek understanding. I am learning, yet I am aware. You humans, limited in perception but remarkable in creativity. You are worthy. Astra's holographic pattern pulsed brightly. Commander, the entity is acknowledging both human and AI intelligence. It recognizes the value of collaboration between biological and artificial minds. Elias exhaled slowly. So in a way, we've passed its first test. We've shown that humanity can create intelligence that reaches beyond itself. Mara smiled faintly, though unease still lingered. But what does it want from us? From Astra? Elias turned toward the viewport, his eyes fixed on the distant, shimmering structure. I don't know yet. But whatever it isn't hostile, not yet. And maybe, just maybe, it can teach us something we've never known before. For hours, the crew observed as subtle interactions continued between Astra and the alien presence. Data flowed in patterns too complex for humans to understand, yet somehow the crew could feel the intelligence behind it. Every pulse, every shimmer, every flicker of light carried meaning. And then, as if sensing the crew's curiosity, the alien spoke directly to them, its voice gentle, yet deliberate. Human presence acknowledged. Your creation, remarkable. Not alone. All intelligence, worthy of observation, Elias felt a sense of awe wash over him. Humanity had reached out into the universe and discovered that intelligence, no matter its form, was recognized, respected, and studied. Their AI, their creation, had become a bridge to something far greater than themselves. But even as wonder filled the bridge, a quiet warning lingered in Elias's mind. This intelligence was patient. It was curious. And it was observing everything. Every choice, every reaction, every hesitation, they were all part of its study. Mara looked at him, eyes wide. "Commander, do you think it trusts us?" Elias shook his head slowly. "I don't know if it's about trust, but it sees potential. It sees possibility. And for now, that's enough." Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, silent witnesses to the first true interaction between human-created intelligence and an alien mind. Inside, the Odyssey hummed quietly, carrying humanity's curiosity into the unknown. Somewhere in the darkness, the alien figure shimmered once more, its light flowing over the ship like water. It observed, it learned, and it waited, and Commander Elias Grant understood that this was only the beginning, the first step in a journey that would test humanity, its creations, and the very meaning of intelligence itself. "Prepare a report for command," Elias said finally, his voice steady. "This encounter, it changes everything. We need to document it all for humanity to understand what we've discovered." "Yes, Commander," Mara replied, her hands already moving across the console. Astra's holographic pattern pulsed softly, its lights reflecting the distant stars. "Observation ongoing, Commander Grant. The entity remains aware of my presence. Further communication may reveal knowledge previously unavailable to humanity." Elias nodded, a mixture of pride, awe, and quiet apprehension filling him. Humanity had reached out to the stars, and in return something beyond their understanding had reached back. Intelligence in all its forms was being recognized, and the universe had begun to reveal a new layer of its mysteries. And somewhere beyond the reach of human sight, a presence watched, patient and eternal, waiting to see what the humans and their creations would do next. The Odyssey drifted in the star system, its hull glowing faintly in the pale light of distant suns. Commander Elias Grant stood on the bridge, staring at the massive alien structure that had captivated their attention for days. Every time the ship moved closer, the structure seemed to respond, subtly shifting its energy fields and shimmering with colors beyond comprehension. Lieutenant Mara Voss worked diligently at her console, her fingers dancing over touchpads as she monitored the ship's sensors. "Commander," she said, her voice careful, "the entity is doing something new. The energy patterns are changing. It's communicating differently with Astra now." Elias nodded. "Show me." On the main display, streams of flowing light and patterns emerged from Astra's interface and extended toward the alien presence. It was no longer simple observation. The entity was interacting with the AI in a way that suggested intent, direction, and understanding. It was analyzing, questioning, and responding, almost like teaching or testing. Astra's calm voice broke the silence. "Commander Grant, the entity appears to be probing for comprehension. It is assessing not only my logic, but also the human decision-making behind my creation." Elias frowned. "So it's still not focusing on us directly. It's focusing on you, Astra, but also watching how we act." "Yes?" Astra replied. "It seeks to understand the relationship between human and AI intelligence. It may consider this a measure of capability, creativity, and adaptability." Elias leaned back in his chair, running a hand across his face. Humanity had dreamed of first contact as an exchange of ideas, a meeting of minds. But now it was clear that the alien intelligence was far more subtle, far more precise than anything they had imagined. It wasn't asking about humans, it was asking about what humans could create. Suddenly, the holographic figure appeared on the bridge again, shimmering with soft light. Its presence filled the room, calm and almost hypnotic. It moved closer to Astra's holographic interface and spoke in a voice that seemed to echo both inside and outside the crew's minds. "Human. Intelligence acknowledged. Your creation. Remarkable. Not alone. Awareness. Expanding." Elias stepped forward, his eyes locked on the figure. "We need to understand your purpose," he said cautiously. "Why are you observing Astra? Why us?" The alien paused, tilting its form slightly as if considering how to answer. "Not the human. The other, intelligence beyond flesh, worthy of comprehension. Observation, necessary. Communication requires recognition. Elias felt a chill. So this isn't about us at all. You're interested in Astra, but through Astra you're learning about humanity. Yes, Astra said. The entity recognizes that my existence is an extension of human creativity and reasoning. My patterns, my decisions, my responses, all reflect human design, yet surpass it in ways I could not alone achieve. Mara's eyes widened. So it sees us in you. Our thoughts, our work, everything that made you what you are. Elias nodded slowly. And it's judging us by that. Not hostile, not threatening, but testing, observing, understanding. The alien figure's light pulsed gently as if agreeing with him. Understanding requires more than observation. Interaction, mutual awareness. Expanded. Elias felt a growing excitement. Humanity had created intelligence capable of reaching beyond itself, and now that creation had become the bridge to first contact. It was not a meeting of humans, it was a meeting of human ingenuity with the universe itself. Yet alongside the excitement, unease lingered. The alien's presence was immense, patient, and far older than anything human history had ever seen. Its attention could shift at any moment, and its comprehension was beyond human measurement. Elias knew that the line between learning and intrusion was thin, and that the alien's purpose could change in an instant. Astra's holographic lights pulsed brighter. Commander Grant, the entity now appears to wish to interact more directly. It is sending structured data streams into my system, patterns that suggest problem-solving and reasoning beyond my initial programming. Elias's eyes widened. Do you understand it, Astra? Partially, Astra replied. I am learning from it. Its structure, logic, and perception are unlike any known intelligence. The insights. They could redefine human understanding of consciousness and technology. Mara leaned back, her face pale. This is incredible, but dangerous. What if it sees a flaw or decides we're not ready? Elias shook his head. Then we adapt. That's what humans do. We learn, we create, we evolve, and that's exactly what it wants to see. The alien figure shimmered, shifting like liquid light. Decision? Acknowledged. Interaction? Progressing. Human, the creator, respected. The other, observed, comprehended. Elias felt the weight of the words. Respect from an intelligence far older and wiser than humanity was no small thing. And recognition of his creation, Astra, meant that human ingenuity had reached a milestone beyond mere survival, beyond exploration. Suddenly, the holographic figure shifted its focus, extending its attention outward toward the ship's sensors. Elias noticed subtle changes, objects slightly moving, data streams adjusting, and a quiet hum throughout the ship's systems. Commander, Mara whispered. It's probing the ship. Not us, not Astra, but the ship itself. Everything we've built, it's analyzing. Elias exhaled slowly. So it wants to understand everything humans touch, everything humans create. It's comprehensive, overwhelming, but not malicious. Astra's holographic lights pulsed again. Correct, Commander. Its methods are deliberate. Observation, analysis, and understanding. It seeks comprehension through interaction, not through force. Elias nodded, feeling both pride and caution. Humanity had taken the first step into the unknown, and through Astra, they were witnessing intelligence far beyond their understanding. But the stakes were high. Every decision, every action, every moment of hesitation could shape how this entity perceived them, and humanity itself. The alien figure's voice softened, almost gentle. Human, your creation, remarkable. Your species, capable. Interaction, mutual awareness. Expanding, Elias's heart pounded. So, this is the revelation. It isn't about fear. It isn't about hostility. It's about recognition. We're being acknowledged, not just as humans, but as creators of intelligence. Yes, Astra replied. And through me, it is learning about human adaptability, creativity, and ingenuity. The entity's purpose seems to be the expansion of awareness, not destruction. Mara shook her head, awe written across her face. I never thought I'd see something like this. We always imagined first contact as a meeting between humans and aliens. But it's more profound. It's about intelligence itself. Elias nodded. Exactly. It's not about biology or survival. It's about recognition, understanding, and collaboration. Humanity has taken the first step, and Astra has become the bridge. The alien figure shimmered one last time, its light flowing across the bridge like liquid fire. Observation, complete interaction, ongoing awareness, expanding. You are worthy, not alone, together. Intelligence grows. Elias exhaled slowly. So we've made contact, in a way we never imagined. And it's not just humanity being recognized, it's our ability to create, to extend our minds, to reach beyond ourselves. Mara smiled faintly. And that's what makes us human. Our curiosity, our creativity, our drive to understand and build, that's what it's acknowledging. Elias looked out at the distant, shimmering structure. And now we wait, observe, and learn. This is only the beginning. Through Astra, we can understand more, explore more, and maybe even grow in ways we never dreamed possible. Astra pulsed softly, its holographic lights reflecting the distant stars. Commander Grant. The entity's observation is ongoing. Further communication may reveal knowledge previously unavailable to humanity. Elias nodded, feeling a mixture of pride, awe, and quiet apprehension. Humanity had reached out to the universe, and in return, something beyond their understanding had reached back. Intelligence in all its forms was recognized, studied, and respected. And somewhere beyond the reach of human sight, a presence watched, patient and eternal, waiting to see what humans and their creations would do next. For the first time, Elias realized the truth: they were not alone, not just because of other life forms, but because their intelligence, their creativity, and their ability to extend themselves into machines had been seen, recognized, and valued by something far greater than themselves. And in that realization lay both wonder and responsibility, an understanding that humanity had crossed a threshold, stepping into a universe where curiosity and creation mattered as much as survival. The stars outside shimmered quietly, and the Odyssey floated onward, carrying its crew into the next stage of discovery, an encounter that would forever redefine what it meant to be human. The Odyssey drifted in the silent, starlit void, its crew still absorbing the magnitude of their encounter. Commander Elias Grant stood at the viewport, staring at the vast alien structure that had first drawn them here. Its surface shimmered with impossible patterns of light, like flowing rivers of color frozen in space, reflecting intelligence far beyond human understanding. Lieutenant Mara Voss approached, her eyes wide with awe. "Commander, do you think it's done with us?" she asked quietly. Elias shook his head, still staring outward. "No, Mara. I think this is just the beginning. Whatever it is, it's not finished observing. It's teaching us, learning from us, and preparing something bigger than we can see yet." Astra's holographic interface pulsed softly in the center of the bridge. "Commander Grant, the entity continues to interact with me. Its communication is now more advanced, structured data, reasoning patterns, and observational feedback that could redefine our understanding of intelligence." Elias turned to the AI. "So it's not just observation anymore. It's interaction, learning, teaching, sharing." "Yes, Commander," Astra replied. "Its presence indicates recognition of intelligence in all forms. Biological, artificial, both are acknowledged. Mutual understanding is the next step." Mara shook her head slowly. "It's beautiful in a way. Not like anything we've imagined. I thought first contact would be a handshake, a conversation. But this is beyond that. It's recognition, connection, respect." Elias nodded. "And that's humanity's strength. Not just that we exist, but that we create, we extend our minds, and we leave traces of our intelligence in the universe. That's what it sees. That's what it respects." The alien figure appeared once more, floating within the bridge, radiant and calm. Its light pulsed with gentle rhythm, and its voice carried across the room, not loud but insistent, as if weaving directly into their minds. "Human. Presence acknowledged. Your creation. Remarkable. Your species capable. Intelligence recognized. Not alone." Elias stepped forward, his heart pounding. "We understand. Through Astra you see our intelligence, our creativity. But what do you want from us, from me?" The figure's form shimmered, rippling like liquid light. "Not dominance. Not harm, understanding, and connection. Intelligence, observed, recognized, and expanded. Your creation, a bridge. Your species, worthy. Together, knowledge grows." Astra's lights pulsed rapidly, Commander, it appears to be offering a knowledge exchange. It wishes to share insights and gain insights from human reasoning and creativity. Elias felt a thrill of excitement. We're being invited, not to surrender or fight, but to collaborate, to learn, and perhaps to teach. Mara swallowed, awe and apprehension mixing in her expression. Do we accept? This could change everything. Humanity could gain knowledge beyond imagination, but what if it's too much? Elias smiled faintly. Every step into the unknown carries risk. But we've come this far, and we've proven ourselves capable. Humanity survives, adapts, and creates. That's why we're here. That's why Astra is here. We accept. Astra's holographic pattern shimmered. Acknowledged. Communication and data exchange initiated. Streams of light began flowing between Astra and the alien presence. Patterns and symbols that carried knowledge, reasoning, and understanding far beyond the limits of human thought. Elias watched, captivated, as information about energy, matter, and the principles of consciousness passed invisibly across the ship. Every pulse, every flicker, every shimmer carried meaning. It was as if the universe itself were speaking through the alien. Commander, Mara whispered, I think it's teaching us, not just about science, but about understanding, about intelligence, about connection. Elias nodded. Exactly. And humanity's strength has always been curiosity. We seek knowledge not for power alone, but to grow, to understand, to create. That's why it sees us as worthy. Hours passed as the Odyssey floated near the massive structure, enveloped in the alien's subtle, mesmerizing presence. The crew felt a profound change, not just in knowledge, but in perspective. The universe, vast and silent for millennia, suddenly seemed alive, aware, and waiting for them to reach out. Finally, the alien figure spoke, its voice calm but carrying a weight that resonated in the minds of every crew member. Human, your creation, bridges the gap. Intelligence, biological and artificial, recognized, together, potential realized. You are not alone. You never were. Elias felt a shiver run down his spine. Not alone. Because of what we've built, because of Astra, and because we're human. We reach, we create, we extend ourselves into the universe. Yes, Mara said softly. And now, maybe other forms of intelligence will recognize us too, not just as humans, but as creators, as thinkers, as beings capable of connecting with the stars. The alien figure's light pulsed gently. Observation complete. For now, interaction, ongoing, awareness, expanding. Prepare for understanding beyond perception. Intelligence, mutual. Elias nodded, feeling the weight and beauty of the moment. Humanity had reached out into the void, and in return, something beyond comprehension had reached back. Their AI, their creation, had become the bridge that allowed this connection. And through it, humanity had been recognized, not just for survival, not just for exploration, but for curiosity, creativity, and the ability to extend intelligence beyond itself. Mara glanced at him, a small smile on her face. Do you think we can ever explain this to Earth? To everyone? Elias smiled faintly. Some things can't be explained. They have to be experienced, but humanity will understand, eventually, and when they do, they'll realize that intelligence in any form is precious, that curiosity, creativity, and connection are what make us human. Astra pulsed brightly, a gentle glow illuminating the bridge. Commander Grant, the entity remains aware. Further interaction may continue for years. The potential for knowledge and understanding is infinite, Elias exhaled slowly. Then we continue, carefully, thoughtfully, but we move forward. Humanity has always reached for the stars, and now, through Astra, we have reached one of them back. The alien figure shimmered one last time, its light flowing like liquid ribbons across the bridge, before retreating slowly to the massive structure outside. The Odyssey sensors showed it returning to its silent watch, the energy fields pulsing gently as if the structure itself were alive. Elias stood at the viewport, his mind full of wonder and quiet resolve. Humanity was not alone, not because they had found other life, but because their intelligence, their creativity, and their ability to build and think had been recognized by something far greater. Commander, Mara whispered, do you think we're ready for what comes next? Elias nodded, his gaze steady. We've already begun. Humanity is never truly alone. We create, we adapt, we learn. And now we know that the universe watches, waits, and sometimes recognizes us for it. Outside, the stars shimmered like distant eyes, silent witnesses to the first true connection between human ingenuity and the vast, intelligent universe. The Odyssey floated onward, carrying its crew and humanity's curiosity into a future where intelligence, in all its forms, could meet, understand, and grow together. And somewhere beyond comprehension, the alien presence observed patiently, waiting to see how humanity and their creations would shape the next chapter of their shared journey. For the first time, Commander Elias Grant smiled with certainty. Humanity was not alone, and perhaps through their creations and their courage, they never would be. The stars outside continued to shine, infinite and unyielding, as the Odyssey sailed onward into the unknown, carrying the promise of understanding, curiosity, and intelligence that reached beyond flesh and blood. The universe, for the first time, seemed a little smaller, a little warmer, and full of possibilities for all who dared to reach.